back in this thing like we left something. Welcome back to my podcast. I got a story to tell. This is episode 23. Yes, 23 straight weeks. As I said last week, we got 3 episodes left. And after this first season is up, we'll be back after a 6-week break. And we'll be rocking again for season 2. I thank y'all for riding with me for 23 straight weeks. Like I always do, before we get going, I got to give someone their flowers. And this week, I'm giving flowers to my guy, my brother, Fale. Fale, I love you, brother. Thank you for being that person, that guiding light. When I was making my way into Islam, after I took my Shahada, you were the person that really helped me out, taught me what I needed to know, educated me on a lot of things. Thank you for always reaching out, just checking in on me, seeing what I got going on, seeing how I'm doing, making sure I'm all right. I appreciate you and I thank you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. And with that being said, y'all know what time it is. I got a story to tell. Let's go. So, this story takes place in the year 2001. It is springtime, and this is the greatest spring break trip I've ever experienced in my life. Myself and my brother Mac, who y'all were introduced to on an earlier episode entitled Kappas Will Get You Some or Get You Shot. If you have not listened to that episode yet, go back, check it out. Learn a little bit about my brother Mac. This story takes place, like I said, in 2001, spring break. We are in Greensboro, North Carolina. But before I get to that story, I got to go back a little bit. I got to go back to fall time 2000, the year before. So, my line brother Nate asked me one day, he said, "Hey Mike, me, Kev, and AP are going to Greensboro, North Carolina to see my family and to kick it with my boy Mac," because he had a boy named Mac too. Mac, who just started down at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. We're going to go rock with Mac, see my fam. You trying to go? I'm like, nah, I ain't going to fuck with it. He like, all right, if you change your mind, let me know. I say, all right, cool. So about a week passes. My brother Kev and I are walking into a Target in Tri-County, right by Tri-County Mall. And my brother's cell phone rings. It's my mother. She calls. She says, "Kevin, you with Mikey?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Let me talk to him." So I get on the phone. I'm like, "What's going on, Mom?" She was like, "Your friend from school, Kevin," shout out my boy L Keys. She was like, "Your boy Kevin, he called and he wants you to call him." I said, "Okay, cool." So I call him. I'm like, "What's up, L Keys?" He say, "Moose," because that's what he calls me, Moose. He say, "Moose, you ain't fucking with NC?" I'm like, "Nah, I ain't gonna go, man." Him knowing me then says, we was gonna try to stop past Duke and see what's going on over there. Now, for those who know me, y'all know I'm a huge Duke basketball fan. Been a big fan since I was 10 years old when I got my first Duke starter jacket from Cook's Sporting Goods, downtown Cincinnati. So he said that knowing that I'm going to be like, oh shit, hell yeah. Because at that point in time, I had never been to Duke. So he says that. He's like, we're going to go past Duke. I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to let you know. He like, all right, let me know. So I get off the phone. I'm talking to my brother. We're walking around Target. I say, "Kid, they going down to North Carolina. Lil' Kev say they might go past Duke." He like, "Nigga, what you thinking about? Go." I'm like, all right, bet, I'm going to go. So we go. We go down to Greensboro. Having a great time. Link up with Nate's boy Mac. Hanging out on campus. All in the dorms. Meeting young ladies. Just having a great time. End up going to a party. Meet some of the noops from from University of North Carolina, Greensboro, but also North Carolina A&T, which is also in Greensboro. Shout out all the noops at Alpha Nu. So, get cool with them and all that. Have a great time. Now, let's get to the story. 2001. This spring break, actually, the story of this spring break could be broken up probably into about 4 or 5 stories. There's so much going on. Y'all will hear more about this spring break as time goes on. There's some other episodes, but we'll dive into it. But I'll only focus on this one part. So, that spring break consisted of Mac and myself driving from Dayton, Ohio, down to Atlanta. My sister lived in Atlanta at the time. We stayed with her. So I tell Mac, when we're tossing around the idea of spring break, I'm like, we can go to the ATL, hit all the strip clubs, kick it, have a great time, stay with my sister, then drive up to North Carolina and kick it and see what's popping up there. He like, bet. Now, I knew this trip was touched by the hand of God because right before we went on spring break, Mac and I. Now, I had a job. Mac had bread, had a job, all that. So we was good. The day before Mac and I get on the road to go to Atlanta, I just happened to go check my mailbox. Y'all, that school refund was in there. Oh, it was in there, y'all. I said, I already got some bread. Plus all this extra bread. This ain't nobody but God. This ain't nobody but God. So we link up with our boy Pete. Shout out Willis Johnson, who got us a rental. Rented us a green Dodge Stratus. We took from Dayton, Ohio to the ATL. We're going to talk about the ATL portion of that trip another day. But anyway, down in ATL, we had a great time. So this Thursday morning, we wake up. It's time to drive up to North Carolina. Mac and I gas up the Stratus, and we on the road. We get to Greensboro, North Carolina. Mac and I have decided, okay, we just going to get a hotel and then see what's going on in the city. But before we get the hotel, we're driving, and Mac says, hey, let's stop by campus real quick. So that's what we do. We drive over to North Carolina A&T's campus. So Mac and I both have on our K side jackets. And we're like, let's link up with the Noops, see what's going on for the weekend. So we park, get out. We see some dudes like standing off in the distance a little bit. So I'm like, we just go ask them cats. We start walking towards them, and the closer we get, we like, oh shit, they are the Noops. So we walk up, exchanging pleasantries, asking a few questions here and there to make sure we official like a referee with a whistle, but we from the legendary Z-Tar chapter, so it is what it is, right? We thorough, no matter where we go. So, once we get all that business out the way, we talking to them, we're telling them like, hey, we're in town, we're going to be staying at a hotel, and then we'll link up with y'all later. Gus, who I remembered from the year before, when I was down there before and went to the party over at UNC Greensboro, he was one of the faces I remembered. I'm like, I remember you. I was like, you were at a party at UNCG. And he was like, yeah. So he's like, man, fuck that. Y'all staying with me. I'm like, bet, say no more. So we go to Gus's crib, put our bags down, and we go to a wing spot. We meet some of the other Noops there. We're talking, having a great time. They start saying, hey, y'all picked a great weekend to come down here. We like, word? They like, word. They like, it's a lot going on this weekend, especially up at Duke. The step show, the party, all this, right? We like, bad. So, Gus says, hey, I have class tomorrow morning. When I'm done with class, I'm going to call y'all. Y'all just come pick me up from campus, and we just go kick it. Bet. Gus is probably on campus what seems like 10 minutes when he's like, I'm not for this shit. He calls like, hey, man, y'all come get me right now. So we go get Gus. He like, hey, y'all want to run up to Chapel Hill? Cool. So we run up to Chapel Hill. Shout out to the Noops at TO, Theta Omicron. So we go up there. We meet a couple Noops on campus. We talking. Everything is cool. They say the same thing. Man, y'all picked a great weekend to be up here. Like, okay, bet. Shit, that seems to be the consensus. This is the weekend to be up here. So, Gus like, hey, let's run over to Duke real quick. So I'm hyped. The 10-year-old me is hyped because I'm like, oh shit, I can't wait to be over here. Even though I had gone over there the year before. And so anyway, go over to Duke. We meet some of the noobs over there chilling with them. They like, yeah, we got step show practice tonight. We got a fashion show on campus tonight. We like, oh, bet. Let's say no more. So while we're chilling there on campus, Gus like, hey, we are going to go over to check them out at step show practice. Then we can go to the fashion show. Then we grab something to eat. We like, all right, bet. So we go chill with them for a hot second over at step show practice. Like, all right, this shit getting old. So we leave. Now, everybody has linked up over at this building on campus because there's a fashion show. What also is going on is there are some high school kids on campus, black high school kids who are incoming freshmen to Duke that next year. So it's like a glimpse of college program. So they're chilling, they excited, they asking questions to all the people, on campus already, and they're going to be going inside this fashion show. It's time for the fashion show to start. So we go in, all the noobs are sitting together. They doing a little fashion show. The room gets dark. There's light on the stage. People walking out, modeling their little outfits and shit. We like, oh, okay, this is cool. Then they take an intermission. So we go outside and we like, okay, do we really want to stay for this shit? Because we're hungry. So about 15, 20 minutes pass and we'll just go back in and see what's going on. If we ain't feeling it, we're going to dip out. So we're sitting there. Myself, Mac, and Gus. All of a sudden, the moderator says, all right, we're about to take it to nightwear. We like, all right, cool. Nigga. A young lady comes out with a robe on. She takes the robe off. She has a see-through bra and panty set on, like thong set. She drops the robe, turns around, spinning and shit, hands on her hips. I look at Mac, I say, word? He like, damn. Next young lady comes out. Same type shit. I look, I say, damn, this how Duke get down? Now, Duke has always been seen by black folks, especially, as like uptight, niggas that go there ain't really got like no hood credibility. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the stigma that Duke has when it comes to black folks. Now, that has been changed based off some of the cats they done had coming there to play basketball and shit, right? So, I look, I'm like, damn, this how Duke get down. Mac was like, damn. So now the fashion show is getting better. They coming out with some shit on. We like, ooh wee. So finally, the show is over. We leave. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a high school senior, a boy, and I saw that shit, I'm so ready to go to college. But anyway, we get done. Gus is like, hey, y'all trying to go get something to eat? Of course. Gus takes us to a 24 hours all-you-can-eat soul food spot called Pan Pan. If you are from Carolina, you know about Pan Pan. They also got a Pan Pan in Harlem, I think it is, but it's not the same. Anyway, we go over there. We having a great time. Gus, Mac, and me. We laughing, getting fat full. Get done. Gus say, hey, let's run over here to NC State. It's a party tonight. Cool. We get in the rental. We drive over to NC State. Shout out the Noops at Kappa Z. We get out. We don't see a whole lot of cars, but we see people walking, a bunch of people. So they're walking towards this building. We go over to the building. We're walking up the stairs. I'm like, man, it don't sound or look like nothing popping off in here. We go in. Y'all, when I tell you there are people as far as the eye can see And I look at Mac and I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. Y'all know if y'all have been to a college party. College party consists of people dancing in the middle, fraternities and sororities stepping and strolling on the outside of them, and then people watching the fraternities and sororities. It wasn't none of that at this party. It was just a huge room full of people dancing. Oh, they jam-packed in there. My brother Mac disappeared. He disappeared into the crowd. I didn't see him the rest of the night. I didn't see Mac till we were leaving and we were about to go get in the car. And I was like, oh shit. Knowing my brother Mac like I know my brother Mac, I know he had a great time. So my head is spinning at this time. I'm like, damn, North Carolina gets it in. So we leave there. We stop at some young lady's apartment in Apex that Gus knows. He's talking to them for a little bit and we end up dipping out. Saturday. All I'm thinking about is I can't wait to get to Duke and kick it and see what the kicking it is like at Duke University. Again, Duke has this stigma of being uptight, niggas being on some square shit, you know that. But what I saw the night before made me feel like, no, everybody ain't no square. Just because you smart don't mean you a square, right? So, Saturday comes. The first thing that's popping off is the step show. It's at this huge auditorium. We get there, we get on campus. We go over to the step show, we sit down. The Noops are on first. They got this whole Mission Impossible theme going on. Y'all remember at the time, Mission Impossible was out and Tom Cruise falls out the sky with the string connected to him, and right before he hits the ground, he stops. They did all that. They falling from the sky, all that shit, right? It's cool, dope, great. One of the best step shows I ever seen. Watch that, then the step shows going on, and I guess like whoever next came on. So, while we're there though, this time it's myself, my brother Mac, Gus, and Gus Sands named Scoob. Scoob is a funny cat from Columbia, South Carolina. Scoob sitting next to me on my left. Scoob tapped me on my leg. He said, hey, Mike, run out here with me real quick. So we go outside. We're like in the lobby of the theater where it is. There are two young ladies out there. Myself and Scoob are standing off to the side. There's some other cats standing around the two young ladies, and they're talking to them. So I'm like, what's up, Scoob? He's like, just chill, just watch. Just stand right here and watch this. So we're watching these dudes try to, what's the term I want to use? Prep. Trying to prepare these two young ladies for some late night activities, we'll say, right? They trying to get it in, right? So we're listening. They prepping them. They hitting them with their best lines, right? And I'm like, wow. They sound like some real hanks. So the dudes end up walking away. Scoob and I are still standing there. Scoob then walks up to one of them. He like, hey, what's up? Now, Scoob has a thick Southern accent, right? He hollering at her, hey, what's up? And she like, where you from? Where you a Kappa from? He was like, shit, Alpha Nu, baby, you know. She was like, where that's at? It's like A&T. So she instantly lights up. Oh, Christmas lights, right? She hyped now. So he's talking to her. A couple other cats start talking to the other chick. So Scoob pulls the young lady he's talking to over by he and I. He's talking to her. He's like, hey, my frat brother right here, he all the way down here from Ohio. Shit, we try and see what's up. And she laughing, she eating it up, right? So she was like, all right, I'll be back in a minute. She walks off, grabs her girl. They walk off to the side. They talking. Her and the young lady come back over with me and Scoob at. So now they talking. They talking that one way. They talking right. So we like, bet. So the young lady like, hey, like, can y'all get liquor or whatever? Scoob like, yeah. So she like, hey, all right, y'all get the liquor. Come back to my crib. Bet. So I come back into the theater where the step show is going on. My brother Mac is so into the step show, which is confusing to me. This nigga has never been that into like no step show shit, right? He's into this shit like it's the latest, like, greatest movie out. So I tap him. I'm like, hey, Sands. I'm like, hey, come out here with me real quick. He like, for what? I'm watching the show. I'm like, all right. So I leave. I come back out. Scoob like, hey, we need to run to the ABC. For the people who don't know, the ABC is the liquor store in North Carolina. That's what they call it, ABC. So I'm like, bet. So I run back down. Matt got the keys. I'm like, Sands, let me see them keys real quick. He like, where you going? I'm like, I'm about to run to the liquor store. Me and Scoob going to the liquor store real quick. He like, all right, here. Get him. Me and Scoob run to the liquor store. Come back. Mac's still sitting there. I say, hey, Sands. Hey, come on. We about to dip. Nigga, I'm watching the show. I'm like, all right, you about to miss out on the set out then. His vision went from the hell with this show and looked at me and was like, the set out? I'm like, yeah. He like, man, fuck this show. Gets up and we out. Now, for y'all that don't know what the set out is, don't worry about it. For y'all that do, y'all know what time it is. So, we get to the young lady's apartment. Her and the roommate, the other young lady, like, they're coming there at different times. So, they're not together. So, the young lady that we have been talking to, she goes to the door. She like, shit, I don't have my keys. So, she calls her roommate like, hey, hurry up and get here. I got the keys. We're waiting. Myself, Mac, Gus, School, the young lady, we chilling, we talking. Everything is everything. I'm over there, I'm excited. Ooh, it's finna go down like 4 flats on the Crown Victoria. It's going down, right? We talking, we waiting. Like, damn, where this chick at with these keys, man? Nigga. All of a sudden. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird. It's a plane. Man. Dun, 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 dun. Cape floating in the wind. Wind blowing, right? Got the whole curl laying on his forehead, right? The S curl laying on his forehead. Just coming. Just flying and cutting through the wind. I'm like, no. Like, it's slow motion, right? I'm like, no. Cap a nigga. Come up. Puts his arm around the young lady. Hey, what's up? Now we looking. Us four are looking like, hold on. Y'all ever seen like, okay, I'll give y'all an example. Y'all ever seen like National Geographic, like animals in the safari, when one animal kills the prey and then another animal come up and take it? That's how we was looking. The hyena came and took the gazelle from us, right? Put his arm around it, walked off to the side. I'm like, what the fuck? Nigga say, hey, look at yourself. You don't need to be out here like this. I'm like, huh? You need to respect yourself. Hey, come. Hey, walk over here with me. He walks her off to the side. They over there for 5 minutes. I'm looking at these two. I'm looking at School, and I'm looking at Gus. I'm like, what the? Man, she walked back over. She says, y'all, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing tonight. We like, huh? Yeah, I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna go. He puts his arm around her and walks off. I look at Scoop. I'm like, damn, that's how noobs do down here in North Carolina. He like, man, hell no, that's how these niggas do. Dude walked off with the Gazelle. And that night I learned everybody's not wired the same, built the same, think the same, act the same. And it's cool. As long as you ain't taking no Gazelles from me. I'm out.